Greetings, fellow humans. My name is Prigan, and welcome to the start of another of my series. Yes, again, I know, but this time I promise to actually complete it. Really, I mean it. Well, anyway, if you couldn't guess by the title, this is the start of my brand new 1.4 Master Mode Summoner playthrough. Hey. So while you can see the process of character creation and the world creation, let me introduce you to the rules of the series. Rule number 1. I can defeat other monsters using weapons that deal summon damage only. So that means I'm allowed to only use minions, sentries, mounts, and the new whips that have been added with 1.4 update to deal damage. Please do note that traps don't have any specific damage, at least to my knowledge, so I can make use of those as well, but they deal so little damage on Master Mode that they probably won't be used by me. Just a heads up so that I can use them. Rule number 2. There is no set progression and all skips are allowed. You'll know what I mean later on. Rule number 3. I can use other worlds to obtain items to speed up the flow of the playthrough, but only after I've managed to get past the point. For example, going on my already like 2 years old expert mode world to get hundreds of lunar fragments to summon a lot of moon lords, because to be completely honest, nobody wants to see me spend 5 hours on just lunar events to then just die to Moon Lord after 2 minutes. And in 2 hits, by the way. So I believe that's kind of respectable, but I have to complete the lunar event at least once to do this. And the final rule, rule number 4, this playthrough will be played on classic character on a master mode world with a Finch staff from another world, obtaining of which you'll see in the video, with the goal being to collect all master mode exclusive relics. Okay, I think that would be all the rules. So I hope you'll enjoy what I will be making, and let's get to the playthrough. So we start off on the secret quote-unquote drunk world, which has absurdly increased rate at which the living trees spawn. And we care for living trees because we need the Finch staff, for it is the first possible weapon we can use. It is still quite funny to me that even after this insane update and buff to summoners, the start of a summoner playthrough is still luck based, because Finch staff isn't a 100% chance to be obtained from the living trees. Luckily for us, we have managed to get one in the first chest we found, so that was all the business we had on the drunk world, and now on to our actual world of operation. On the actual world that will be used for the playthrough, I begin to chop down some trees, fight off bloodthirsty slimes, and head to the right, picking some sunflowers on the way and stumbling upon something very interesting. Don't tell me. Yep, that's right. A living wood tree has spawned right next to our spawn. I couldn't really believe it at that time, but I really couldn't believe that we have managed to find a Finch staff in it. So, as I already said at the time this playthrough, well, I mean, then this is legit, right? Then I decided it would be the best use of my time to just travel west now, and being surrounded by nearly every type of surface slime wasn't too much fun, but eventually Finch cut through them and I could continue in my travels. As I was walking west, I remembered I have sunflowers. So I went about 200 blocks back again just to start placing sunflowers in a decent pattern to improve our future travel experience. After a bit of sunflower placing, we have finally made our way to the desert, at which I just noped away from it and went to the living tree and decided that will be our future base of operations. It is kinda bummer that we don't have the living ones, but I still want to make this work. So I will just make it practically functional, not aesthetically. Though I must say the new change in which the walls in these trees are not inhabitable is really annoying. Well, after finishing the houses, I get surprised by one not being big enough, so we fix that, sort our stuff, and head for an adventure. By that I mean we will camp in our tree, luring in zombies and praying that Finch only takes 2 minutes to kill one. After the sun rises and they all try to run away, I follow them, because I still need some of that sweet money. During which we kinda explore the oasis to the right of our tree, but on the way back we encounter some... Hey, you did it, good job. Oh my god. We let them play with the Finch and just try to yeet ourselves out of there, but in the end we are forced to just outsmart the simple vulture AI and get some more entries in our bestiary, after which we come to visit the merchant to obtain some mandatory items, like a piggy bank. Next up we decide to go into a cave to find some useful things for me, nearly freaking dying in the process. Well, our spelunking didn't last too long, since I got trapped by power-hungry slimes that wanted to delete my pune's so far pacifistic existence, and you know how it sometimes is, that the longer you do something the better it gets. This is not going as I planned. Well, in this case it really didn't. But hey, eventually Pinky joined the party and I knew it was my destiny to spend the irreplaceable 5 minutes of my life just to get that one entry in the bestiary. Finally, the Pinky fell and we could continue on after we got rid of like another 5 slimes. After about 10 minutes in one place, we could finally change position just to be met by another slime. Oh, and you think that was the worst part? Nope. Mr. Worm decided to come for a visit, but it was quite okay. One good tip for all you aspiring summoners out there: you can use your fin staff to lock onto the worm, and that way you see him through walls, and it makes it extremely easy to dodge. Well, after like 15 minutes of just doing pretty much nothing, I am rewarded by a chest that just tells me that there is no value in living. I let the chest get got, and I get rewarded by my very own band of regeneration, which wasn't the worst thing I've ever seen, so I just took it. My disappointment was immeasurable as soon as I saw that I can no longer continue with my mining extravaganza, so I just turned around and went on to go home. Well shit, where now? I wasn't very pleased with it still raining outside, so I just hid in a tree again to kill some umbrella boys. And upon returning to our trusty tree, I got my own piggy bank, a bug net and a sickle for blocks. I was ready for an adventure that will go further than just the forest biome. To the desert, I said. And the desert was literally dead. No mobs anywhere, just nothing. It was an equivalent of a free real estate. I was really taken aback by that, not gonna lie. Anyway, I went past the desert to a chest where a kind of a not pleasant surprise awaited me. A jungle bat flew in from by me unnoticed jungle to the left, and definitely 100% didn't make me panic at all. So after that intense encounter, I decided to do the next most logical thing and head inside of the underground jungle. Wait, what? We got pretty lucky with the jungle mob spawns at the beginning. We managed to find a radar and an underground cabin, so it seemed that the luck was finally on our side. That was until the list Umbrella Slime decided that it would be a great idea to pay me a visit in my new home, clipping through the ceiling, nearly killing me. Again. I apologize for using the pickaxe there, but I believe it is justifiable since I don't know. But I haven't read in any patch notes that the slimes are now intended to face through blocks. But other than that, slight distraction, we have managed to get our hands on a magic mirror and the flare gun in a single chest, which is pretty interesting. But anyway, we continue on, going deeper and deeper, finding the typical jungle mob, Mr. Worm. And after that encounter, which definitely left me a little shook, cause I tried to defend with a freaking sunflower, we managed to get to another problem, but at the same time, our objective, hornets. You see, as I said in the rules, Terraria 1.4 added these new whips as a support item for summoner. There are two in before Wall of Flesh, Leather Whip and Snapthorn. The former requires you to have 15% filled out bestiary, not happening anytime soon with my current like 6%, though the latter of the two, Snapthorn, is way more consistent to obtain, only requiring you to get 3 wines, 12 stingers and 3 jungle spores. Not too bad, just requires a bit of patience. And by that I mean the will to stay an entire hour just non-stop farming stingers and praying that Finch will grow a bigger brain. This was almost torture, but in the end I managed to find a strategy that worked and managed to begin collection of stingers. It was basically get a stinger, go up, despawn everything below, rinse and repeat until you get everything. Sometimes you had to use some pro blocking skills, because keep in mind there is 90% chance that any hit is lethal at this point. So that is how I spent an hour in the jungle, slowly advancing further down just to get to jungle spores level, while descending and finding one hornet. He was kind enough to reveal a life crystal nearby, which will be very important later, keep it in mind. I don't have all the kills recorded, but this was the last hornet I needed, even though I only had 10 stingers in my inventory. Believe me, I had it all planned out. It was big brain move. After more tedious minutes of digging, we have finally made our way to the jungle spore level. We only needed 3, so there couldn't be any complications, right? Well, after obtaining all the spores we needed to get out of there, to the 2 of my previously dropped stingers, but some man-eaters thought otherwise, and after taking 109 damage in a hit, this is where the life crystal comes into play by the way, it just saved my life. I decided to bail and just go at it from a different angle. Literally. Somehow managed to get back to the jungle, basically unscathed. We can finally get to see the final 2 stingers being dropped on the ground there. Though we don't have it in the bag yet, because for some reasons the hornets now really want me. But after getting the materials, I returned home as soon as I could, with the words, "Mission accomplished." But we will not be crafting Snapthorn in this part of our playthrough. We need to leave some accomplishments to the next part, of course. But I hope you guys enjoyed watching this first part of Reinom's Summoner Adventures. This one will be a true challenge, I can't wait. I'd like to hear your thoughts on this kind of video editing and post commentary, since these videos take a really long time to make and a lot of disk space. How'd you like it? Okay, that is all from me. I wish you all a nice day. My name is Spriggan, and I'm out.